In this video, we are going to build a basic prototype on how we can stream live networking uh, traffic to Apache Spark using Apache Kafka platform. So this will be a hands-on exercise that I will try to explain. Basically, the context is in big data world, we have a huge set of data that can be batched and then analyzed, or it might be a continuous stream of data coming from a source or a set of sources. For example, in IoT devices, from IoT devices, telemetry devices, etc., they can send a huge amount of data, and that will be a continuous stream of data. So one after the other, the messages will come, and the producer will send the data, and so there are some receivers that have to collect the data continuously and store it or analyze it for some insights, etc. So there are some analytical platforms like Apache Spark, which are more popular nowadays, and the streaming platforms used. Um, so Apache Kafka is one of the most popular streaming platforms that helps in collecting the data and acting as a bridge between the producer of the data and the receiver. So So we will go through the introduction part where I will try to explain the basics of Apache Kafka, Spark, and Spark streaming. I will not go deep into these topics because there is a wealth of information and wealth of information available, and we have to learn it patiently. This video will not be able to cover all those things. So what is Apache Kafka? Apache Kafka is an open source distributed event streaming platform used by thousands of companies. So what is it used for? It is for high performance data pipelines, streaming analytics, data integration, and mission critical applications. So basically, Kafka is an open source platform that is used for streaming continuous data from one or more producers. So producers are like sources of data. So it is intended for one or more consumers for both real-time and batch data processing. In this diagram, you see the picture of producer and the consumers and the Kafka cluster of brokers sitting in between. Producers push continuous data stream into Kafka. So Kafka is basically a platform which has a cluster of brokers. Brokers are nothing but they are also called servers in Kafka terminology. So, their functionality is like to receive the data from producer and producers, one or more producers, and store it locally, so that consumers can pull that from Kafka. So Kafka platform sits in between producer and consumer and acts as a bridge between these two. So there can be a number of brokers in one Kafka cluster, and producers push data uh, pertaining to some topics. Topics is nothing but context of messages. Uh, uh, when you send a message from a producer, you also mention which context is that does that message belong to. That context is called a topic in Kafka. And there is one component called Zookeeper, which we need not be concerned too much in this hands-on video, but Zookeeper is a coordination software that is also an open source platform, which will be helpful, which is essential for Kafka to run. We have to run Zookeeper first, and then we have to start Kafka. So Zookeeper helps in synchronization mechanisms between the brokers in Kafka. Uh, for example, in high availability, fault tolerance, etc. If one of the brokers go down, there should be a synchronized mechanism so that the other brokers in that cluster take up that load. So these things are dependent on Zookeeper. We have to start Zookeeper. That is essential for Kafka. That is what we have to note here. So in this diagram, it is we have a clear picture. So basically, it is producer, Kafka, and then consumer. The data flow comes from producer, goes to Kafka, and then consumer pulls from Kafka. So as I mentioned, Zookeeper is a distributed open source coordination service for distributed applications. Uh, Whenever we write some distributed application, we can make use of Zookeeper and integrate it with it so that it will provide the coordination services, synchronization for our service. The important point is we need to run Zookeeper in order to use Kafka server. That we will see when we go to the hands-on details. Then we come to the Apache Spark. Apache Spark is the most popular big data analytics engine that are used now. It's an open source distributed processing system. It helps in parallel processing of huge data. It splits the data set into multiple nodes, and we can process like transformation, etc. A huge set of data can be split into multiple nodes, and they can run parallelly, and the processing can be done parallelly. So it is an enhanced version of Hadoop MapReduce. So if you go to the if you go to the literature, we can learn a lot about Apache Spark and Hadoop, how they differ, etc. Moreover, it provides development APIs in different languages like Java, Scala, Python, and R. And it provides batch processing, interactive queries, real-time analytics, and it has libraries for machine learning and graph processing. These are the Spark components. In the bottom, we see Apache Spark engine, core engine, and then there are 4 libraries on top of it: Spark SQL, Spark Streaming, Machine Learning, MLib, and GraphX. We will be using Spark Streaming in this example. So, what is Spark Streaming? Spark Streaming is a component in Apache Spark which lets you write streaming jobs the same way you write batch jobs. So, what does that mean? Basically, when we use Pandas data frame, for example, we read a CSV file, read a batch of data, and then analyze it further or build models or whatever. But here we have the streaming data which comes from Kafka. So this component helps you to receive the streaming data, but it will give you an experience like kind of appearance like a batch data. So it will not you need not worry about the streaming nature of the data. What you will get is a batch of data which is continuously updated as and when new data is received from Kafka. So we will see further about it when we go to the hands-on exercise. There is something called Spark structured streaming where it will be kind of a unbounded data frame, which means that it is not bounded. It will be continuously updated by newly incoming data, and aggregation operations, etc. will it will be internally updated. The data will be internally updated, and the user will get an appearance like he is analyzing a batch of data, that is data frame. And this Spark Streaming component supports Java, Scala, and Python coding. Before we go to the hands-on exercise, there are some prerequisites. Kind of what are the softwares that we need to install. So as we saw, it's Zookeeper, Kafka, and Spark. All of these three softwares need to be installed. What I used was I installed a Ubuntu Linux virtual machine in a Oracle VirtualBox. So, and then use that for this exercise. There is a excellent video by a guy called Bogdan in YouTube where he explains Apache Kafka. I mean, how to install this VirtualBox, Kafka, Zookeeper, etc. You can. I have given the link to that video in the description box. You can go to that video and first um, uh, install all these things in the virtual machine, and then come to this exercise to run the hands-on. Um, and then after installing these things, there is a library called PySpark, which is essentially a Python interface to Spark, Python library, which we need to for Python coding to use Spark. We use this pip install PySpark to install that. And then there is another library called Kafka Python, which is essential to use Kafka from Python code. And then there are two tools that I use for specifically for networking data to extract the networking I mean packet header fields from network packets and for the live capture of packets from an interface. So these two things I have used since I have taken up the use case of network traffic data in this example. So I have given the commands to install both of these in this slide. And yeah, before we go to the exercise, these are the major steps covered in this exercise. Like first, we write code for the Kafka producer to extract packet header fields from network packets and then feed it to a Kafka topic. Sorry. And the second thing is the consumer part. So we use Spark structured streaming based program, which will act as a consumer to that data. It will use PySpark for analyzing the data to subscribe to the Kafka topic. Then it will then receive data stream from Kafka and then start consuming it. That is, we can then analyze the received data. The third step will be after the coding is over, we have to start Zookeeper and Kafka service. And then the last will be to test our code. So these are the 4 steps. In the next video, we will go to the hands-on exercise.